A huge blow to the YouTube nomadic community. I've been keeping a secret for quite some time now. I'm not sure when it was, but I received a text from Lola that said, "Do you have time for a phone call?" Well, it's Lola, of course. Anytime I got time for you, of course. So we did just that. We had a phone call. And that is when she broke the news to me that she was not doing well. She wanted to let me know why she hasn't been around in the live streams and other things, that it was due to she couldn't read anymore. She couldn't remember things. She was having headaches. She was having other problems. She went to the doctor, and to her surprise, she was told she had brain cancer, and the cancer was rapidly spreading. We went in, had a nice long conversation. I was at a loss for words, as one could expect, but we did have a nice long conversation. Now, many of you may know that she has been having some hip issues, and she's been dealing with some hip pain, and she couldn't get cleared to get hip surgery. So again, they didn't know what they were going to do because of all the issues. So, after that, we had a nice long conversation, and I was bummed, of course, but so we went on from there, and time went by. We had people asking, well, she told me that, me and a few other people knew she didn't want it out there. So as in the live streams, and people were saying, "Where's Lola? What's going on? How come she's not here?" And all those other things. And she would occasionally pop in and say hi, and then, type in, in the lurkers lounge or whatever. But then she said because she told me she could type a little bit, but she couldn't read and she couldn't keep up. And it was just a mess. So, I'm saying, well, her and Vicky, it's that time of year. They try to do as much camping because it's not too hot before it gets too cold. And so I'm trying to make up excuses of why she's not there and all these other things. And in the meantime, Margie from RV Ashes in April, she does her last treatment, and she's ringing her bell, and we're trying to celebrate all the time. I know, all this news, but yeah, it was rough. It was devastating. And I'm sure that, Vicky and all of them and her daughter, Jess, I know they were going through it. So it was a tough time. It was a tough time. And then yesterday, yes, on a Thursday, we lost Lola from Lost on Land again. She was in the hospital. She was resting. She was peaceful. She was surrounded by loved ones, and she slowly drifted off. So in that fact, I guess we can take solace that it wasn't a long, drawn out, painful, miserable existence until the end. It was quick, a little too quick, but it was quiet, peaceful, and again, surrounded by loved ones. Now, I had the pleasure, the very, very great pleasure of knowing Lola, meeting Lola. As you can see back there, she's here in the studio. I spent a day with her, me and Mrs. Views, spent half the day, and then the other half the day we were with Blair, the Unibassist at the time. So we had a great day. She was awesome, super awesome person. We had so much in common. She was a big rocker. She knew so many bands, went to see so many bands, had tons of stories. We talked about all kinds of things. She was a big Kiss fan. I was a Kiss fan as well. We had that in common. So much in common. She did the Lola Palooza. She decided she was going to start the Lola Palooza. Yes, a gathering for the wheeled wonders. That's right, as I call them, the nomads, the van dwellers, the RVers, the all that. So I just wrap it up into the wheeled wonders. A great little gathering. It didn't get too large, so it didn't get out of control. It was in a Texas state park every year, and that's the space. That's how many people can be here, so it couldn't get too big. A lot of work went into it. She did it every year. Once she started, it was an annual thing. A lot of work went into it, and she was there. And she asked me every year to do a logo. So every year for however many years it was, I don't even know, I would do a new logo. This was pandemic times, as you can see, the van. And even though she switched vans, I still always put her white van in every single logo, just because it was tradition for me. But she basically kicked me in the ass at least once a year to say, hey, draw, paint, do whatever. Because I'd get into the creative juices there for a while, and then I'd just go off and I'd do something else. I'd play the guitar for a while. But it was, hey, it's that time. I want to get t-shirts and stuff. Hint, 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 BlindViews. Are you going to do a logo? Yep. So, yeah, she would give me that swift kick in the ass at least once a year to get creative and do some artwork. So I was more than happy to do it for her. She was awesome. She sent me, of course, a shirt every year. And then one year I did get to go to the Lola Palooza. And during the Lola Palooza, she would have a BlindViews watch party, because it was all, it was started, Thursday, went through the weekend and everything. So it kind of kicked off, I guess you could say, with a BlindViews watch party. And I was so appreciative to get all the folks. And the one year we had to call in. But the one year I surprised everyone, and I actually took the trek, the very, very long trek from Pennsylvania to Texas, and popped in at the Lola Palooza. Of course, Vicky dressed up like me. Vicky, just love that girl. But thanks to Lola and all of her efforts, I got to meet a ton of people. I don't want to go through everyone because I don't want to leave anybody out, but you guys know who you are. You know who I got to meet. Some really cool people. And that's all due to Lola. And Lola did have her support team, her support crew. Lola was loved by many, I know, but there was Vicky. Vicky was her bestie, her one and only. That they were best friends. But there was the core four, as they called themselves, and that was Lola, Vicky, Frugal, and the Dan Van. So Dan and Frugal and Vicky, they were always there to lend a hand during the Palooza and through all kinds of other things. Lola did the I forget what it's called right now, but the Appalachian Trail thing. She was big into that. Her daughter is Jess, who thoughts go out to her and well wishes for sure. But was a very active young lady and hiked the trail, and she was a whitewater rafter and instructor and skied. And I mean, she's a very, very active young lady. And Lola was always so proud of her. But Lola would go and load up some water and snacks and things like that and go on the trail and hand out food and beverages to the through hikers. Very cool, very cool. And that's just the kind of person that Lola was. Selfless, very thoughtful, sweet, sweet, sweet young lady. I mean, awesome, awesome person. I'm so glad that I got to actually call her my friend, and no, not just through the screen on YouTube, but yes, through phone calls and texts and meeting in person on a couple different occasions and hanging out. She is already missed. I'm still kind of trying to get over the shock. But everybody that's been wondering why she hasn't been around, now you know. She would definitely be missed at the lives. She was there every Thursday since I started this years ago. Actually, when I started doing interviews, I started interviewing the Nomadic crew. I asked her, "Hey, will you come on and let me interview you?" She said, but yeah. She didn't want to, but yeah, she did it for good old BlindViews anyway. Again, that just goes to show the kind of person that she was. But she was in every live stream. She always contributed. She always got the chat going. And then when I would start playing guitar and half the people would leave, they didn't want to hear me making noise, she was there cheering me on, shouting out the name of the bands and the songs that I was playing, which not only was encouraging because, hey, I played it enough so she knew what I was doing, but she always knew everything. She was just such a music fan. And I learned a bunch of Kiss songs that I would rattle off for her because she was such a big Kiss fan, a big Paul Stanley fan. If everybody knows that if you know Lola, you know she was a big Paul Stanley fan. So yeah, I learned a bunch of Kiss songs that I would play for her all the time just because I knew it would make her happy. So it's a big shock. It's a big loss to the whole community because, again, she started a Lola Palooza, great group of people, all got together, had fun, had a blast. She muddled through the hip thing, and you know, she got the e-bike so she could get around and started because her hip was just bothering her, and then this, and now she's gone. And it's just still, it's hard to believe. It's so hard to believe. It was so fast. But again, I guess that is the good thing. I don't want to ramble and get too mushy, but I just had to get on. I had to say something. I've been keeping this to myself for so long to keep her wishes. She didn't want people to know, but now we have lost our Lola. She's not lost on land. She has found her way, and she is at peace. And I guess that's the way I have to look at it. I don't like to be selfish in these events and think about myself and how it affects me. I have to try to remember that she is no longer suffering. She's no longer in pain. She's no longer confused. She's no longer dealing with all the issues that she dealt with at the end. But she will definitely be missed. So I will leave you with this. She was an awesome person. She was Lola Palooza. There can be other Paloozas. There will be many Paloozas. But if you see one that says Lola Palooza, it is not a Lola Palooza, because without Lola, it is not a Lola Palooza. And since she is no longer here with us, I'm sorry, but that's the way I feel. Without Lola, it is not a Lola Palooza.
I'm BlindViews, and that's the way I see it.
What we do here is go back.